Hey folks, we're back here with another video. Of course, the most important thing in the wrestling world today, dude. Listen, I might be a bit late to the party. I just want to get my 2 cents because I don't want to die. I don't want to just like put myself into a firing room, and I'm not going to try to put some racial BS into this crap because the one calling out Naomi for not deserving a shot is a Hall of Famer, a guy that scrapped his way to the bottom, a guy that wasn't even known to be much of a main eventer because of Harlem Heat. So Booker T knows what he's talking about. And the centralized disrespect that the guy is giving, he's giving he's giving a lesson. I obviously don't concern myself that much with Naomi. She already had a somewhat of a big push back in 2017, and she wasn't even on the main show defending the women's champion, the SmackDown Women's title, when she was getting pushed up to so much high acclaim. And people trying to do the same old BS all the time for trying to get pushed up, all because either that she's thick or they just remember sort of what Naomi's good at. I don't like particularly her moveset. She seems like a nice person, but it's your own fault if you're not trying hard enough to get pushed up on the main roster. I mean, while this chick was losing to Lacey Evans, she lost clean against Dana Brooke, right? And people just coming out of nowhere just saying that she deserves uh more because watching the women's division is boring. Well, it'll be more boring if we gave it to Naomi. It it just brings up nothing. This is already a lackluster women's division as it is. I already don't understand what was the complaint coming out of Booker T. Obviously getting out like exposing the charity cases because Booker T. people because he just said this, they can go to hell with all these hashtags. As far as I'm concerned, nobody deserves a chance. All right, first and foremost, we have you have to earn your chance and your spot on the roster. This is not some movement to just pull somebody up and just because. I hate to sit here and say this is this is an talk 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 this way because I like Naomi. But as far as the business goes, you get you get it on your own merit alone. And he isn't right, and he isn't wrong about that. Naomi hasn't been doing much to even bring herself to the brink of actually getting over to that top spot. Her moveset doesn't scream over that top spot. Over the sense of having such a lower tier gimmick, and then you expect her to just be pushed up all because y'all ask, is dumb. And over most of the other whiny complaints that you guys have, let's push Asuka, let's try to help Kairi Sane, let's help Lacey Evans. Uh, Bailey deserves a heel run. Like the inconsistent standards for already what I feel like the most lackluster women's division I've ever seen. So whenever we just think of Naomi's deserves better, my opinion, I just feel like y'all are just bored. Nobody else over the span of at least 2 years said Naomi deserves better. Because other than her lackluster reign as a SmackDown Women's Champion, none of you guys were ever fighting to let her win it back. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard over this entire merit. All because of the dumb little karaoke segment from SmackDown just a few weeks ago. That just come over to Naomi just apologizing because of the crap segment. That was all it was. I think we got something else here. All these hashtags are usually created by the fans. It's also how they get their points across. Remember, give Divas a chance. If fans were frustrated in the way where the women's division was being handled, it's later years. It's years later. Fans are still having to use Twitter to complain about the WWE how WWE treats some women. I think they treat women fine enough in certain aspects. The reason why the women are still getting shit is because they have no character and their personality borderlines to the brink of just meh diversity and inclusion. And of course, meh, they're women. We have they have their own pay-per-view. They now have their own Royal Rumble match. They have their own Elimination Chamber matches. They have main evented pay-per-views, main evented Raws, SmackDown, main evented the first ever WrestleMania. The reason why nobody cares is because there's no legitimacy in the women's division, and there's not that much personality. The most we have over to the brink of any source of mainstream credibility when this Divas Revolution was ever given a chance was I want to say Ronda Rousey and AJ because they were borderline fan favorites and they had their own personality. They had their own shtick, and people got behind that. People got behind AJ also because she thought. People got behind Ronda because she actually looked like she can kick somebody's ass and she can actually follow through with that. And they did well actually making a strong defensive champion out of it, kicking people like Nia Jax's ass, Alexa Bliss, Ron, Becky Lynch. There's a lot of the more notable women in the division. Just boot it out. You guys really don't care about the women's division, in my opinion. I obviously don't want to push this up to no racial issue because that's obviously what we always try to do whenever it involves ourselves wrestling. We tokenize ourselves to be the sympathizer and just do this dumb crap. That's what made us go over this controversial point with Kofi Kingston when he was getting pushed for the WWE title spot, and no one cares. It's just depressing. And Naomi's not given a spot because she's boring. I like her matches at times. I don't mind her as a person. She's just really boring. Other than her dumb entrance, that's just her dancing. There's not really much to even be sped up to her getting more TV time, in my opinion. And there's already a lackluster women's division on SmackDown anyway, with the only notable person that's babyface, by the way, Alexa Bliss, and she's better as a heel. Nikki Cross is annoying. Lacey Evans is boring, with her finisher being the most inconsistent striking finisher of all time. And Tamina is. Oh, didn't Tamina spend over 13 years in the WWE? And people are caring about Naomi. It's sad because she could barely even give up a good promo. Other than there is sources of a likability factor, and she still has a good look. She should be given more championship opportunities, but this shit shouldn't be a factor by the fans. This is what ruined Daniel Bryan's push. This is what ruined a lot of stuff for certain wrestlers. When you guys just complain and you don't let anything sit to play. So where did this Naomi deserves better come from? It's been years since she won the SmackDown Women's title. So where did this come from? Into the aspect of she lost to worse. I don't understand where this come from. This is dumb. This is like a waste. So don't blame me why this is getting uploaded late than any other wrestling tuber. This is like a waste of journalism. I don't know why any of you guys really completely care about Booker T's take when he has obviously double the experience and must have been really patient because he wasn't a spring chicken when he won his first World Heavyweight Championship. Especially in WWE. He was in the company since 2001. He didn't win the world title until 2006. He had more legitimacy to that. So I don't know why are you guys complaining. Naomi's only notable feat is just using her ass for half of her finishing moves and having no other personality than her entrance. Her entrance has more personality than her. And this might be coming harsh. It is harsh, and y'all just comparing black wrestlers to a female wrestler that's obviously not getting pushed up around the card because there's nothing really that interesting over to Naomi. And this is coming from a guy that used to be a comedic part of Raw and SmackDown, and he still wins Intercontinental, US, Tag Team, and World Championships because Booker T had a personality. A Kofi Kingston's the funnest guy to watch for nearly a decade. Over the history he has, he sort of deserves a championship. Even though how forcibly I know he was going to win the title at the end of WrestleMania, I thought it was already overpushed as it felt like even though how many fake restrictions that was going to happen, he was going to win the belt. And there's not really that much pushing up to Corey Graves with his point because he already has his little beef with Booker T still. I don't. This does not concern me. Whatever comes together, they might just make her win the title for any other racial issues against the world because Vince doesn't really give a shit about the women's division as much as he makes tag titles, multiple titles, and there's already a lack of an importance. Bayley had been holding on to the women's title for a long time now, and we can't even remember like at least one match. So there's already a lack of prestige in the women's title, even though she's the longest reigning women's champion. It would be better if the belt was unified, thanks to there isn't that much of a women's division. I don't know where Carmella is, and she's on SmackDown. There's no Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair is gone with her titty problems. Shayna Baszler barely shows up. I don't know where Liv Morgan is. It just feels like it's just an excuse to stir up any dumb drama or try to make something in WWE for a racial issue, all because Vince said the N-word once on Raw. Does that make him racist? No, that was just his character. I'm not trying to stir up any point here. This is just my logical reason why I don't think Naomi's not getting pushed as she deserves. And I like Naomi. I don't mind Naomi. It's just if she doesn't have that much of a character other than her dancing, and she's obviously not getting TV time, that's not WWE's fault. There's more than the WWE's fault not trying to push guys like Elias or make Shayna Baszler feel more legitimate or Bianca Belair feel like more of a threat, even though she had the record breaking Royal Rumble eliminations. She should be one of the bigger powerhouses in the women's division by now. Dana Brooke is still treated as a joke thanks to the Money in the Bank ladder match. And the only women that are actually going to be treated as strong is either the four horsewomen that all look ugly, and of course, freaking Asuka. That's about it. It's already bare bones as it is, so don't give me this BS that y'all care about Naomi out of nowhere. It's ridiculous. Hate this tokenizing crap. And y'all just have the gall, the unmitigated gall, to just try to compare her to just other black wrestlers. That took Kofi even longer. Booker, that had more experience than nearly everybody. It's just dumb. Let's go over some more stuff. Over she had to return from a hiatus and miss a beat. Her return went viral and tons of new eyes to the product. What new eyes? What new eyes? People were excited to watch Edge at the Royal Rumble the exact same year. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, man. I love Naomi. Just hear me out on this. YouTube already averages at least several million views for any other highlight coming from the Royal Rumble. So that's like, and it's coming from a YouTube channel that has 68 million subs. So unless it's other content, of course a pay-per-view highlight will be averaging millions of views. Especially when Edge came in the same pay-per-view. Return. It's nice to see Naomi, and I said it was nice to see Naomi, but that wasn't a bigger concern. This is just I don't really have a lot to get over this. Hopefully, you guys have opposing views on the situation. I'll head over the Naomi deserves better controversy. I don't think it's much to golf at. There's worse. There's people that's been getting treated worse, getting disrespected, and not given what they obviously deserved, like Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Lacey Evans, Tamina, that's been treated as a jobber for years. It's just a joke. It's just a joke in my opinion. And y'all just disrespect the Hall of Famer that has more experience than all of you guys combined. I'm not buying that. I'm not. He knows what's good for the business, and he was right about the comment. So I don't want to hear anything else. If y'all just gonna think that I'm sexist and I'm racist because I'm black, I don't care. Thanks for watching. What a fucking